So hey everyone, today we'll be discussing this problem. It came on today's Codeforces round. So I'll briefly explain the problem. So we have some trees, and we are given the height array of those trees, and and there are days where we can water that tree. There are days where we can water that tree. On odd days, if you pick up a single tree, you're only allowed to pick up a single tree. If you pick up that tree, and you water it, the height of the tree will be +1. It will be incremented by 1, and if it's an even day, it will be incremented by 2, and you're also allowed to skip a day. So you have to basically give the minimum number of days required to water the tree so they grow to the same height. So yeah, this is the question. So if we check a example, like this was an example in the code forces section. So if we check the example, so consider day one, as this is an odd day, I will increment, let's just say, this tree to 2. So then this will become, so this will stay 2 only and this will stay 4. On the second day, I am allowed to pick up a tree, and if I increment it on an even day, it will get incremented by 2. So I incremented this. So now we have 2, 4, 4. On the third day, there will be an increment of 1. So I decided to skip that day. So it still stays 2, 4, 4. And on the fourth day, I have the liberty to increment a tree by +2. So I made it 4, 4, 4. So the days, so the answer is 4. For this test, answer is 4. So yeah, let's start with so this was a purely maths based question. So I'll go through my intuition, like how I approach this question. So the small thing you want, that the maximum height you want to check for, like obviously you'll have to assume for a height, right? Like for example, oh okay, sorry. So for example, you want to check, like you have to have a height, like what will be the final height of the tree. So it can be either 8 or it can be 9. That will be the maximum. Of course it can be 10, but then your answer will get increased for stupid reasons. So you don't need to check for 10. You can check, but keep the minimum count. So let's just say we are checking for 8. Okay, let's just say we decided that a maximum height will be 8, and we want every tree to get at a maximum height of 8, because obviously you can't reduce the height of a tree, so you can't select 5 as the maximum height. So if height is 8, so let's just check what will be the whole process to get all the trees of the height as 8. So my intuition was I'll be using only 2s and 1s only when it's an odd number. So what I'm saying is, suppose this is 2, I want it to be 8, right? So I'll be using one more 2. It's 2, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, then 6, and this is 8. Here we have 5, 6, 7. I have to use a 1 now because you can't make 8 otherwise, right? Then again 4, then I'll use 2, 2. 8, I won't be using anything. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, you have to use a 1. 7, I just used a 1. 4, I used 2, 2. So this was my need. Like, this is the thing that I want. Like, this is all I want. Like, if you give me these many 2s and these many 1s, I'm good to go. So now how to play with, after you have collected these, so let's just say I have a count, say 2s and 1s, 2s and 1s. Okay, so I have collected these numbers. Like 2s are how many 2s I have? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 2s I have, and I have a total of 3 1s. Okay, sorry, this is not negative. So I have a total of 3 1s. So I have collected these. Now let's write them in such a way. 2, 2, 2. Like how many 10 like 2s do we have? We have 10 2s. So 2, 2, 2. Again a 2. 1, 2, 10, right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we have 3 1s. And we know that we have to make a 1 2 1 2 kind of thing, right? Because this is odd day, this is even day, this is odd day, this is even day. So we need to follow pattern. So for every 2, we need a 1, something like that. But for every 1, we don't need a 2. Like this is also possible. Okay, 1 2 1 is also possible, but 1 2 2 is not possible. So you have to have a 1 for every 2. Okay, so now I saw that I have 3 1s, so I can use these 3 1s wisely, right? I can combine them with 3 2s. I can easily combine them with 3 2s. So then if I combine these two, they will make 1 2 1 2 1 2. So how many days did I get? I got a total of 6 days. So in my answer, I have stored as 6 days, and then I erase these. Okay, so now I'm done with these. Okay, like I've taken care of, like I used the spare ones, those were left, and then I combined them with 2, and then I added them to the answer. Okay, then let's take care of how to use these. So see what I'll be doing here. For this 2, I'll be adding a 1. Okay, so it becomes like this. Then for this 2, for this particular 2, I'll be adding one more 1. And then the ones that I added, you see that they can make a 2 now. So I can remove this, right? Because these two ones will do the work that, like, if any number, let's just say this number requires a 2. So I just added two ones, right? Because those ones have to be added. If you want to complete a day, before this 2, you have to add a 1. Before this 2, you have to add a 1. And after you have added this one and this one, combine them, it will make a 2, and you can remove this 2. Now it's not needed. So you saw that. So let's just narrow this down. If I have three twos, I'll be making 1, 2 because this is necessary. Every 2 wants to have a 1. Then you make one more 2, 1, 2, and then this 2 is no longer needed because then you can use this one and this one to suffice the job. Like what this 2 was needed for, that will be now sufficed by this one and this one. You can use this one and this one to do the need for 2. So that's how you will be doing this. So similarly for the rest of the array. So the main logic is for every three twos, you will be getting 4 days. How did I get 4 days? This 2 will become 1, 2. I just added 1. This 2 will become 1, 2. This one will get removed because you have added 2 already. So instead, so this 2 will be replaced by 1, 1. So this was the main. For every 2, you will be having 4 days. That is 1, 2, 1, 2. This is how you have to swap. So otherwise the next option was 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So if you see, this one is completely unnecessary, right? Because this was added for nothing. In fact, these two ones were of good use. You could have combined them and you could have made a 2. So you don't need to add this one. You don't have to add a 1 for this 2. Just use these two ones, and you can do the job that was needed to be done by this 2. So yeah, this was the whole, like, it will be much clear if I explain this via code. So let's just copy this example also. 2548374. Okay, 2548374. So just so looking at the code, ones and twos, as I said in the previous thing, how I'm counting that. So if I just write this down quickly, 222, 21, 22, double two. Okay, then 221 122. Okay, so I'm counting. So I'm counting the difference. So basically you want the difference between 8 and 2, right? Because so I'm running this for many heights, so that you will be able to see in the code. I'm running this particular count days function for many heights, and then I'm taking the minimum. Not many heights. Basically, it's fine if you run for height and height plus 1. The height won't exceed that because then your answer will only exceed. So I'm calculating the difference between 8 and 2. Here I've considered my height is 8, okay, for example purpose, and I'm getting the difference as 6. So if 6 is my difference, then the number of twos would be 6 by 2, that is 3. As you can see, I have 3 twos over here, and ones would be mod 2. So suppose it's 5. What is the difference? 8 minus 5, it's 3. So how many twos will this 3 have? So that's 3 by 2, 1. How many ones will this 3 have? 3 mod 2 equals 1. So that's all I'm doing. So in the end, you will see my twos would be 1, my ones would be 3. So this would be 10 and this would be 3. Okay, so if I again write that down, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, sorry, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1, 1, 1. Then, okay, then you define an answer. Then you count the minimum days, like basically the days which are going to be combined, because you want to use the spare ones and twos, right? So minimum of ones and twos. So that is 3. So you use these 3 because you know that it's common. It If there are 3 ones, there will be 3 twos because you have used the min function. Then there are 3 twos. So if there are 3 twos and 3 ones, so you will be making something like this, right? So this is total 6, which is basically 2 times this value, 2 times this particular value. So so I initialize my answer with that. Answer is equals to 2 times days. So Now you don't have these three twos and these three ones. This is how our twos and ones is looking right now. So okay, so now my twos is equal, twos count is 7, my ones count is 0. Okay, then yeah, then you subtract, right? Then as you saw, this is 10 minus 3 and 3 minus 3. You get 7 and you get 0. Then you subtract, like whatever you have used, you will subtract that. Then that logic, as I explained, for every three twos, you will then you have to add a 1 for a 2, you'll add a 1 for a 2, you'll add again a 1 for the second 2. Then you don't need to add anything for this 2. In fact, you can even remove this, because whatever job that 2 was doing, that will be done by these two ones. So if you see clearly, three twos will make up this. That is, three twos will be making 4 days. Three twos will be making 4 days. So that's what I have done. The number of twos you have now, the number of twos that you have now, divide that by 3. That will give you what are the number of three twos, like a pair of three twos, and that will give you a total of 4 days. So answer plus equals to 4 into twos by 3. Okay, so now let's move on. Now suppose you have 1 2 3 2 2. Okay, this was the final array after doing this operation. After doing this operation, let's just say we have these many twos left, 5 twos left. So you'll divide this by 2. So what is 5 by 3? It will give you a floor value of 1. It will be giving you a floor value of 1. You will be doing 4 into 1. This will give you 4. So you have added 4 days, but now these three twos you have already done the work for them. So what about these three twos left now? What about these three twos left now? So if you have two twos left, okay, this is the interesting part. So this is the remaining, okay, this is the remaining. So what if you have remaining equals to 2? That is, you have a pair of 2 2. If you see clearly, you cannot do anything. You have to add a 1 for 2 and a 1 for the other 2. That is, it will give you addition of 1 second. This okay, sorry. Okay, 1 second. Okay, let's do this again. So what if you have a remainder of 1? First, let's check what if you have only one left. So suppose you had 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, you divided 4 by 3, you got 1. You added 4 days, and what are those 4 days? These 2's converting into 1, 2, 1, 2. You added plus 4 into your answer. Okay, this part is done. You have handled these 3 2. What about this single 2 left now? That basically means your remainder value equals to 1, right? Your remainder value is equals to 1. So if this 2 is left, you will be adding 1 before that, and you will be pushing that into the answer. So basically answer plus equals to 2. Simple. But what if you have 5 twos? Okay, coming back to the 5 twos, you are 5 by 3 1. You added 4 days, you have two twos left. What are you going to do? Two twos. You will be adding 1 2 for this part, 1 2 for this part. But now if you see, this 2 is again not needed, because you just added two ones, which will be doing the job that this 2 was doing. So again, this 2 2 will be transforming into 1 2 1. So that is 3 days. So answer plus equals to 3. So yeah, this was the remaining part, and then there's a small thing. What if you have ones left? Okay, so let's just consider a small example for that. There, because in this example that I just showed you, the one just got completely vanished, right? There wasn't any one left. But what if you have something like this? Uh, okay, yeah. What if you have something like 1 1 2? So you will be doing that minimum wala logic, and you will be having one left. So basically the logic is so let's just say you have three ones left. Okay, in your final array you have three ones left. So these three ones will be making something like 1 2 1 2 and a 1. So basically, uh, for every 3 for every 1 you added a 2. That is 3 into 2 minus 1, because you didn't add a 2 for this last one, right? So 3 into 2 minus 1, so that gives you 5. So you have to also add this, just in case you have ones left. If you have ones left, so the answer is adding a 2 for this one, adding a 2 for this one, and not adding anything for this. So basically adding for all minus 1, because you didn't add for 1. So this, we have to add this into the answer. So yeah, this was it. I'll put the final code in the description. So yeah, thank you.